So, in honor of Mother Days coming up next week, this is going to be a new series about toxic parent. So, this first episode, I'm going to talk about honor thy father and mother. Okay, so I'm going to say this in regard to Asian culture in general. We're not gonna say a country because when I talk to my other friend who is Asian and they're from another country as me, and this is the structure of the culture is similar. So we're not gonna pick a country. We're just gonna say Asian culture in general. Okay. So and here's where the difference is. So in Asian culture, it is to believe that your parent or like you put them on a pedestal because they created you. Could be by accident too, but you still have to put them on the pedestal, and you are um like required to take care of them for the rest of their life. Versus in American culture, the parent is only responsible for the child up until a certain age where it can go on and find its live in the zone, find make their own money. So this you have more freedom in that. Now we're gonna talk about a different form of abuse in Asian culture regarding Asian parent that is not obvious. Like obviously, if your parent are hitting you physically, then that is abuse. We're talking about the verbal abuse and the entitlement behind these things that it looks like, it's all about them doing what's best for you, saying they love you, but it's not that. It's a form of emotional abuse. So let me say this. So my parents are immigrant to America. They've been in America for more than 20 years. And ever since I was 12-year old, they would use me to do everything that's related to English for them. So, for example, they have to file the taxes every year. I have to do that for them. If they need to go to the doctor, I have to call the doctor to schedule the appointment. And then I have to go with them to the doctor to translate for them because they do not want to improve on their English. They do not want to learn English besides just a few basic words that they know. And their excuse is that it's too hard. They don't have time for it. They have to work to provide for me. But the thing is, you can watch English TV show to learn after work. Those are just excuses to let them use me like that. And every time I try to say no, they would say that, oh, we fed you, we give you a roof over your head. Your life could have been harder, like those kids in third world country where they're sleeping on the street. Okay, like so you think about it. That's that's toxic. Is guilt tripping you, and the basic of being a parent. They choose to be parent. You don't have to choose to be parent, but the basic duty of being a parent is to provide for your child with basic need like food and a roof over the head. And the the toxicity go beyond just doing everything for them, and that they just keep getting worse over time. They don't want to let you go. Like you would spend from the time you were 12 until after you graduate from college, and just your whole life is about that, just helping them out with whatever they need. And every time you don't do it, they use the same excuses to make you do it. And then they say that you have to take care of them when they're old, and they have no saving. They're wasting their money on materialistic stuff like driving a Lexus, buying expensive handbag like Louis Vuitton. It's it's an entitlement that they think that they provide the bare minimum for the child and that the child owe them their whole life. So when you graduate from college and you made it, you have to buy them a big fancy house to show off to their relative, their friends, buy them fancy car. Like it's all materialistic because this is what Asian culture is about. We show wealth through material stuff, which is really stupid because they should have their own saving and not be a burden to their children to expect their children to take care of them. Any logical person would think that way, but because Asian parents are so entitled and they think that the children would take care of them for the rest of their life, that they don't do these things. They what it is, and it's a horrible, toxic reality. And I'm gonna say it out loud, and if you don't like it, that's fine. This is how the majority of Asian parents are. If you don't believe me, go on Reddit and look at a forum that say Asian parent stories. If there is not enough Asian children that say these things about the parent, that feel that it's a huge burden for them, that Reddit group would not exist with that many user that they have. So it doesn't apply to all Asian parents, but it applies to the majority of Asian parents that they act this way. So what it is to use a metaphor, is that you adopt a dog in its puppy stage and you put your collar around it and you say it is mine for the rest of its life. So in contrast to that, to in the comparison, Asian parent, they put the shackle on you, saying that because they raise you, provide you with basic need, food, shelter, and other things, that you that they can have these shackle on you. They put these chain on you for the rest of your life. You can never be free of them. And that is more gross to me than those parents that just beat up their children. It's it's the same level of abuse. And you might argue that physical violence is worse, but at least with physical violence, you you understand what that is. But with this type of emotional abuse, you question things that is like they would go to extreme. And I'm mainly talking about my parent, but your parent would be the same way too. That they told me that if I don't take care of them and repay them for all that they did for me, that I would go to hell. They would say things like that. Or they would say that they feel ashamed of me because my cousin are taking care of their parent, but not me. It was never like, it's not in a written contract that is right in blood that I owe them anything when I don't choose to be born. If I know that they were going to be my parent, I would not have choose to be born. So there's no, like, at this point, I would freaking just go to hell than to deal with them anymore. I want to completely cut off my parent. I was confused about it for a while because my mother is the better parent. My father is a deadbeat. He never want to work hard to support the family. My mother have to work two jobs to support the family. And I thought that for a long time that I was willing to be what they call that good child that would take care of their parent in their old age. But the more that they do these things to me, the entitlement that it get so bad to the point that every time I see a phone call from my mother, I don't want to pick it up. I know they're gonna make me do some stupid task that they are capable of doing it themselves, but they just never want to learn how to do it. And it would ruin my whole day that to have this chain around me, the shackle that just hold my hand back all the time. And that if I say no, they will do all this manipulation. It's the same excuses every time. That it's just a small favor. It's just a small favor. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal for the last fucking 30 years of my life. Just doing every single things for them is tedious. Do you know how time consuming it is to call, make the doctor appointment, and then to go to that 1 hour doctor appointment? Or to have me run the business for them, answering every single customer complaint, customer review, and they still don't think that it's enough, that they want more from me, that they don't have their own retirement saving, and that they expect me to take care of them, use my own money to to save them if they get sick or buy a house for them. I would not do that. My father is an alcoholic. Why would I want to save an alcoholic that never take care of their health, that keep drinking alcohol until they drink alcohol like it's water? Why would I use my own money to save somebody like that? Why would I use my own money to save my mother who wastes money on unnecessary things just to keep up with other people, buying expensive handbag, buying skincare product, buying clothes, brand name? They, I don't owe them anything anymore, and I just get tired of it over time. And this is, it's like I rather that I was that they were physically abusing me to where I can see it, to where I can cut it off, to where I understand what that is. But because they're doing it in a manipulative way, not the obvious where they hit me, that I was confused for the longest time as to should I should I completely just cut off my mother? Do I owe her anything? I don't. I don't owe them anything. And you know what's bad about what they did is that even when I copy and paste a page of my personal journal into ChatGPT, and even the AI would tell me that they're being toxic and that it's manipulation, that they're using all these tactics to guilt trip me into doing whatever they want, and that it is my mother own fault that she chose to stay with a deadbeat like my father. She could have left and looked for a better life, but she doesn't. And all that hardship and that she talked about how much she sacrificed for me is just because of her selfish about keeping up with the image that in Asian culture a single mother is looked down upon. So she did those things to herself. I should not feel guilty for cutting off my mother because she have both of my parents already used me for the last 30 years. I owe them nothing. So that's what I'm gonna say to people who have parents that are similar to me. There's a time that you need to see it for what it is and stop feeling guilty if you ever have the thought that you want to go no contact with them and cut them off completely. You don't owe them anything. It was all their bad decisions. So that's all for today. Until next time, have a good evening.